Over 1,000 years ago, in the desert of northwestern Arizona, lived the Native American Hopi tribe. They were visited by the Great Spirit Masao and were given more than 17 signs, which would indicate the time remaining before the next great world cycle would come to an end. Sign number 1. They would see people who could strike down their enemies with a clap of thunder from alien weapons. This is largely believed to be the guns brought by the Spaniards in 1540, which were alien to the Hopi and made loud sounds, like the clap of thunder. Sign number 2. The lands will see the coming of spinning wheels filled with voices. This is the arrival of covered wagons in Arizona around 1820. Sign number 3. Strange beasts like a buffalo with great long horns will overrun the land in large numbers. This was fulfilled when the great cattle migration came to Arizona in the 1870s. Sign number 4. The land will be crossed by snakes of iron with rolling smoke upon them, of iron horses. This is believed to refer to the railroad tracks that arrived in Arizona in the late 1880s through mid-1900s. Sign number 5. The land shall be crisscrossed by a giant spider's web. There will be talking to each other through cobwebs. This is largely believed to be in reference to the power lines which began going up around the late 1880s. Sign number 6. Carriage that is going to run by itself, which references automobiles, which became mainstream in the 1920s. Sign number 7. There will be a road in the sky. This references air travel, which was used by the military in World War I and II and became mainstream for commercial travel in the 1950s. The land shall be crisscrossed with rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun. This references large pavement roads that reflect the sun and create mirage-looking images on hot summer days. Roads began showing up more commonly after the Federal Highway Act of 1921 and increased through the 1950s. We will be in a closed room and be able to talk to others outside of it. This is in reference to radio and television. Radios arrived in most households between 1923 and 1937. You will hear of the sea turning black and many living things dying because of it. This references the oil spills that started happening in the United States in 1910, became more prominent in the 1940s, and are still happening through today. There would exist a glass house of mica, referring to a clear rock house. This house would have many leaders that should be educated on the ancient instructions. The Hopi were told they would be rejected, but to continue having faith. This refers to the United Nations building in New York, built in 1951, with a glass facade, and a place for leaders around the world to convene. From the late 1950s through the 1990s, the Hopi were turned away from being able to speak to the UN. However, they were given access and delivered multiple speeches in the 1990s. If you ever get to the moon, don't bring anything from the moon down to Earth, because once you do that, you are interfering with the balance of the universe and nature. Man first went to the moon in 1969, and it's believed astronauts brought back some rocks from the moon. However, it doesn't appear large items were brought back in mass. You will see many youth who wear their hair long like our people come and join the tribal nations to learn our ways and wisdom. This refers to the hippies movement in the 1960s and 70s. It's this author's perspective that all of these signals discussed so far appear to be time signals. If you think about a sporting event, the length of the event and time remaining is shown by the quarter you're in and time on the clock. It appears we have the same here. These signs appear to show the time that is passed, so we know how much time is remaining before the end of the cycle. There are only a few time signals left, and they appear to be coming true right now. You may not be able to distinguish between a man and a woman. This refers to the gender-affirming and transgender movement going on today. Humans are going to find the blueprint that makes us and cut this blueprint. They will use this blueprint to make new animals, and even have old animals come back. It seems these technologies will help us, but the grandchildren and great-grandchildren will suffer as a result. This refers to genetic experimentation and gene splicing. Since 2018, China has created the first gene-edited humans and super cows. A joint US-China team created a human monkey embryo, and another company is attempting to bring back the woolly mammoth by 2027. This sign is being fulfilled right now. You will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens, above the earth, that shall fall with a great crash. The dwelling place in the heavens has also been referred to as a huge house floating up in the sky, carrying people and things. It's unclear if this sign has yet come to pass. The house in the sky could be in reference to space stations. Some think it refers to comets or rockets. It could perhaps be the crash landing of alien spaceships. There have been multiple human spaceship crashes, including the 2003 Space Shuttle Columbia and Skylab in 1979 in Australia. There have been rumored alien spaceship crashes for several decades, and the government is just starting to admit the existence of aliens. It could also refer to the International Space Station, which was set to be decommissioned in 2024, but that date has now been changed to 2030. These prophecies often get fulfilled over several decades, rather than a single event. The last and final sign for the ending of this world cycle is a blue star kachina that will remove its mask, dance in the plaza, and be seen in the heavens. In the Hopi language, a kachina is a spirit. The removal of the mask may be some sort of unveiling of a spirit, or the existence of spiritual beings. It also may refer to the revealing of a comet, space station, or aliens. It's been said the blue kachina spirit would first be seen at the Hopi dances and make his appearance known to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This may refer literally to the Hopi, or to those around the world who are more spiritually attuned. The reference to children may mean those who have maintained their childlike wonder and connection with the heavenly realm. They will be able to know what is coming before others. The Hopi were told to keep the vibratory center on top of the head open so they would be guided. The blue kachina being visible at the night dance may refer to it being visible in the night sky. At this time we will feel a burning inside us. If we do not remember the original teachings and learn to go within and balance ourselves, we will be overstimulated with desires and conflict. In some ancient indigenous languages, the color of blue and green were used interchangeably, so it may be a blue or green symbol. It's unclear if this sign has yet come to pass. Comet Ison was visible on Earth on September 21, 2012. Some photos showed it as blue and some as green. It could also have been Comet Holmes in 2009, which is bluish-green. In February 2023, a rare green comet was visible to the naked eye as it passed by Earth for the first time in 50,000 years. Also, there is a 1,100-foot-wide asteroid called Apophis, which is supposed to get very close to Earth, within 19,000 miles, on Friday the 13th, April 2029. It's expected to be visible to over 2 billion people with the naked eye. Like all the other signs, this sign is probably not a single event, but an occurrence over several decades. All the Hopi time signals have come to pass or are currently being fulfilled. But even more important to know are the 6 Hopi warning signals. The first, Great Shaking. This is depicted on a drawing on Prophecy Rock in Oribe, Arizona. This drawing is believed to have been around for centuries. On the image you can see 3 circles. Here is a more clear depiction. The 3 circles represent 3 warnings for humanity. The Hopi were warned that when humanity reached a certain point in time, if they were too far away from their connection with their creator, Masao would warn humanity by grabbing the earth and shaking it violently. This first circle is the first Great Shaking, and is believed to have occurred with World War I. Warning sign number 2, the second Great Shaking. The second circle is the second Great Shaking. If humanity continued to be separated from the principles of their creator, Masao would grab the earth and shake it again, the second time more violently. This was World War II. We will discuss the third circle momentarily. Warning sign number 3, a gourd full of ashes. Something small but powerful will be invented by mankind. If mankind allows it to fall, it would be so hot, it would boil oceans and rivers and all else to ashes. Sickness would develop that man couldn't cure. This is the A-bomb that was dropped on Japan during World War II. The Hopi had long been silent about revealing their prophecies to the public at large. They had faced centuries of oppression and persecution from the European colonizers, other native tribes, Catholics, and the United States government, none of whom believed in their prophecies. However, after the second Great Shaking, the Hopi realized it was time to speak up about their prophecies and began sharing them more with the world. Warning signal number 4, the 2 paths. On Prophecy Rock, there is shown 2 paths that mankind will be able to take. The first path is the path of the two-hearteds. This is the path where humanity follows those who are disconnected from the wisdom of their heart, who focus on harming others to serve themselves, who create disharmony in the world, serve the ego rather than the soul, live on the principles of materialism and consumerism out of balance with spirituality. They use technology with no moral compass, try to control others rather than help others, and live for external gratification out of balance with internal fulfillment, and foster the values of fear, division, greed, and control. The second path is where humanity chooses to live in balance. Follow those who balance the intelligence of the head with the wisdom of the heart, who focus on helping others rather than aggrandizing themselves or controlling others, who work to create harmony, who serve the energetic balance of ego and soul, who balance the external world of materialism with the internal world of spirituality, who use technology with a moral compass to promote the greater good, who balance the external gratification with internal fulfillment, and who foster the values of peace, harmony, cooperation, love, and empowerment. The Hopi warn that if humanity chooses the first path, there will be a very rough finish and sudden ending. But if humanity chooses the second path, there will be abundance signified by the cornstalk. There will also be a reunification with the spiritual balance, signified by Masao. The line continues going to the end of the rock, signifying the peaceful and harmonious continuation of humanity into the new world cycle. Warning sign number 5, the point of no return. On Prophecy Rock, at some point between the second and third great shaking, there is a line connecting the first path with the second path. This is the point of no return. It's one last and final attempt for humanity to ensure they take the path of balance and harmony. Whatever path humanity has chosen by this point will shape its destiny. Considering all the other time signals have been fulfilled, and we already have had the first and second great shaking, it appears we are very close to this point of no return. When earthquakes, floods, hailstorms, drought, and famine will be the life of every day, the time will have then come for the return to the true path, or going the zigzag way. If we analyze the Hopi prophecy in context with the fourth turning and other prophecies, it seems likely that 2029 will be the time for this point of no return to have passed. Will humanity work to live in balance and harmony with each other before then? If not, we may see the last and final warning sign. Warning sign number 6, the third great shaking. What might the third great shaking be? It's not entirely known. It could be war or cataclysms. According to Hopi elder Thomas Banyaka, it may have something to do with a red cap, red hat, or red cloak. He also mentioned it would involve a large population, scientific inventions, and a powerful nation. Banyaka also mentioned there would be something to paralyze all machinery. All power will go out. All man and machinery would come to a standstill. This could imply an EMP pulse or global blackout. It's been said that lands sink into the ocean and land rises out of the sea at the time of the arrival of the blue star Kachina. But do we have to experience the third great shaking? It appears not. The people that come would be commissioned by the Great Spirit for the Great Spirit to purify, if we can't purify ourselves. Nostradamus also foresaw potentials such as the third great shaking, but said it was sent as a warning signal so humanity could avoid it. Our future is our choice. Will we purify ourselves? Will we make the necessary changes in our consciousness and systems ahead of time? Or will we continue to argue and channel anger into each other and Mother Earth herself? Every action creates an equal and opposite reaction. By adding more anger and harm to one another and the earth, this energy will need to be expressed. Will it be expressed as war? Will Mother Earth reflect the pent-up anger of her children and explode? Do we really need to go through the pain before we learn the lessons? Or can we just learn the lessons ahead of time? If the worst happened, what would we do afterwards to change, to make sure it never happened again? What if we made those changes now, before the third shaking, before the pain? Or is it in human nature to go through pain before making a necessary change? The choice is ours. It starts with our consciousness. It starts with our awareness. It starts with how we react and display our emotions. It starts with our decisions to follow the path of materialism, or the path our soul is guiding us towards. We still have time, but not much. The choice is ours. What will we choose?